from my home, my home, my home. I'm running from my home, my home, my home. Oh, where else could I go? I go, I go. Oh, where else could I go? I can find a reason not to pick up nearly every time. Like I don't wanna hear you, please don't hit my line. 'Cause I've been feeling stuck, I'm gonna lose my mind. Cardiac, my heart's been doing flips just like an acrobat. You'll never really find me where the party at. I'm starting to believe I'm in a Sunniac. 'Cause all my nights are the same, so turn out the lights, I'm ready for change. All my nights turn to days that I just don't like, can't live in the shade. I'm running from my home, I'm running from my home. Go where else could I go? Go, I go. Go where else could I go? Oversights, like how to think I fix this all just overnight. Got comforts all around me, but they hold too tight. It's getting old, I think I lost my appetite. I can tell, been running round in circles like a carousel. So why not go and tell us how you really feel? I'm running out of options, man, I think I need another plan. 'Cause all my nights are the same, so turn out the lights, I'm ready for change. All my nights turn to days that I just don't like, can't live in the shade. All my nights are the same, so turn out the lights, I'm ready for change. All my nights turn to days that I just don't like, can't live in the shade. I'm running from my home, I'm running from my home. Oh, where else? 'Cause all my nights are the same, so turn out the lights.
I wish we stayed the same. I got way too many thoughts in my brain, but I got memories that run through my veins. I'm not one to blame, but I could point out every way that you change. Some things stay up while others go right down the drain. And lately we've been going down in flames. But if I'm honest, I get in my feels when I want you. Say you feel it too, I'll haunt you. Hold on till I'm lost in nirvana. But if I'm honest, I get in my feels when I want you. Say you feel it too, I'll haunt you. Hold on till I'm lost in nirvana. But if I'm my therapist is saying that I should. I don't believe her, but I really wish I could. Instead, I guess I'll stay misunderstood. Oh, 'cause I'm stuck now, just trying to figure a way out. I've tried but can't seem to slow down. I don't know if I want to. But if I'm honest, I get in my feels when I want you. Say you feel it too, I'll haunt you. Hold on till I'm lost in nirvana. But if I'm honest, I get in my feels when I want you. Say you feel it too, I'll haunt you. Hold on till I'm lost in nirvana. But if I'm
Hello, hello, hello. We are back again. We've got the Ascended tier today, so not the main event. Got one more event before the main event, the final 8 teams. We get the Ascended tier, which is an event for teams of peaks between 1600 up to 1800. And yeah, our first round here we got Team Chaotic facing off against the Dudents. I'm gonna turn off the chat actually. Let me just turn any chat off just in case. Yeah, there we go. All the chats off. Okay. When? Let's go Chaotic or the other team. Well, if you don't know the teams, Team Chaotic do star Duran and his teammates Dripnik and Destiny, and 3 Dudents. Includes GMB, Rossi 2 Saucy, and Rai, apparently. So Kimo supporting Chaotic in favor of Duran there. Yeah, I've sent out the lobby details, just waiting on them to join now. By the way, Kimo, there might be another team that you might be interested in, specifically England. They're called, starring Hackett, Jake Adams 19, and Umfi, so exclamation point casters, or exclamation point bracket to check that out. Casters, I mentioned because Timmins will be casting that series. So you might want to check out his stream. He'll be casting that one. I assume you will be interested. And yeah, I guess we're just chilling, we're just waiting. Okay, I think there might be there might be issues on the side of Duran's team here. Any DQers? Any DQers? Miramasa weird. Okay, I've put some details in chat. Duran is saying that his third has not rejoined his VC yet. Sorry. He said his third is not back yet, so I've given them 15 minutes to come back. That's the timer on it. Apparently GMB, when I said Duran has until 8:15, because he's from the UK, he thought he had an hour and 15 minutes. That's pretty funny. He's like, sorry, we're gonna have to wait an hour to see if he has his teammate. No, that's not happening. That's not happening. I think the rule used to be 10 minutes for my tournaments, but I've changed it to 15. It's been pretty active though these last few days. Chaotic start, I guess. You could say. It's been pretty active. You know, yesterday we had the main event, which was quite long, and then today we got Ascended Tier. Tomorrow we got the actual main event. Yesterday was the main event qualifier, of course. And then other than that, we've got last week we had a amateur stage and no way, Golly Monkey Boy with the Prime sub. Thank you, my guy. I don't have notifications on for the tournaments though, unfortunately, but I do appreciate it. Yeah, last week on Saturday and Sunday we had an amateur stage and an apprentice stage as well, so that was fun. Our fourth event stream for this event, and tomorrow last and fifth. So yeah, been a bit hectic. I think what's his name? What's that one dude's name that wanted to know when somebody he knew played? I forgot his name. He's German. He's not Coco. Longy. Yeah, that was the dude. He wanted to know when somebody played that he knew. I'll send him a message. I think he wanted to know when students played or something like that, or somebody that he knew. Longy is a G. What a G. He's probably Malden, because Germany's out. Germany's out of the World Cup. Argentina playing right now, actually. Taking on Australia. I mean, I can't really imagine Australia winning that, if I'm being completely honest. Cannot really imagine it. Australia knocking Pessi out. No shot. No shot. Bro, we need to get some music in here. I mean, I guess we can get some music. Like, come on. I guess we could just keep playing the same playlist I was before. Slow down if I want to. You do love to see the not showing up teammate. We do love it. We do love it. Stand it. Imagine. But you know, I'm sure all the other streams are having a great time in their series right now. Let me just check the other streams. Let's see if Lobovi's game is starting. Because I remember there's one person that might have issues there. Let me check if he's already on their way. Yeah, they are on their way, and it's SFG and Victor. Who's Johnny? Maybe that's Navy Dog, I suppose. Or Commander Crow. Commander Cow. Commander Cow? Yeah, I think it's Commander Cow. But who the fuck is Johnny? Like, seriously. How good does he look? He joined, okay. We can get it on their way then. No way, they're 5-1 down? England! What's going on? They're 5-1 down. Oh my. Yeah, you join. You should say something in the group chat, Duran, you 5-in. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see if the stream's working. No, we got a best of 7 up. No, nope, nope, nope. That's what we wanted. Best of 3. Alright, we've got round number 1 underway here. Team Chaotic taking on the 3 Dudens. These are the 4th and 5th seed for today on paper. Of course, these teams could play completely different than their seeding might imply. So we'll have to wait and see whether the seeding seems accurate to the skill levels of these teams. And it will be interesting to see the chemistry between these teams as well. Because we saw yesterday it was a big factor. What a save there by Destiny. A shot coming in from the 3 Dudens, but a great stop from Team Chaotic. Rossi here going for that backboard. Defense of Team Chaotic looking rather chaotic indeed there. But nobody really there to capitalize on the side of the 3 Dudens. And I do like how the Dudens have started the series. They're already looking pretty threatening early on in this series, having slightly better looks than Team Chaotic so far, looking slightly more mechanical, but it is just game 1. They're feeling each other out here as we've passed 1 minute and 30 minutes of gameplay. Duran there actually doesn't do anything and ends up just like leaving the ball, and Duden's not sure what to do. Leaves it for his teammate. Teammate comes in and gets a really good shot. Gets it on target, and that'll be the first goal here for the team, for Team Chaotic. Got a bit of a defensive mishap, I want to say, from the 3 Dudens. Here's a shot coming through from GMB. Stopped out by Duran. Right. Doesn't quite get a controlling touch there. Opponents do leave it for a second. Important to note here, Team Chaotic getting a good start, but yesterday they didn't do so well yesterday. They used their substitute, and with that substitute they lost against the Inquisitors, who have been invited into this tournament today just because a normal team that was supposed to play didn't actually end up making it. So we got a replacement that aren't supposed to be in this tier. They're supposed to be below. On average anyways, some of them should be in this tier. And yeah, they lost to them in the lowers, so that was quite surprising. So Team Chaotic, they're gonna have to pull off a bit of a redemption arc here today. They're gonna prove themselves to be worthy of this tier. Here pass off to Destiny. Team Chaotic moving downfield. Good save by goalie Monkey Boy in the backboard to push it to the side. Tripnik now to return. Oh no, a big bump from Rye. Didn't quite have the boost to make a play on the ball and opted to go for the player. Oh, it's an open net miss from Destiny. Nobody to be found on the goal line. But even then, They still managed to miss. Team Chaotic. They should have been up by 2 now, but they'll remain 1-0 up. Another attempt from right. Looking pretty dangerous, but not quite going for the goal there. Just scaring the defense. Here, good speed there from GMB to get back to that pass and actually able to get a 50. But for a second he was going to be cleanly beaten. Tripnik with a bit of space here, flicks one. But the opponent did not commit. And thus was able to collect the ball quite easily. Duran just taken off the field there. Rossi does still end up going laterally, and that'll have nobody back. One shot comes through, and it is saved by goalie Monkey Boy. The shot was decent and on target, but defenders had just about enough time to get back, and so more was required of the shot from Duran. Actually make it count. 30 seconds remaining now, and the 3 Dudens, they have to score to remain in this game. Ball goes off to the side. Duran trying to control this one. A big pinch coming in. Rye pushes it forward. Ball into the midfield. A 50. Going off to the side on the blue side. Still in the danger area. Pass down mid, and Rossi is there. 2 seconds remaining. And Rossi makes it count as they tie things up. And a big comeback here for the 3 Dudens really late into this game, and it'll provide them a lot of momentum. Keep in mind, it's the best of 3. Every game counts for a lot. And momentum wise, I mean, after that goal you have to say it's in favor of the 3 Dudens. Is that a kickoff goal? Oh, dunk from goalie Monkey Boy. GMB almost getting it on, but it was at least definitely threatening. Team Chaotic looking not to throw this game. A misread. Gets bailed out by his other teammate though, however, on the team of Team Chaotic. Looking extremely clunky and shaking defense now in this overtime. Rossi trying to pinch this out, but doesn't get it far. GMB able to get it to the side. Right there. Pinches it as well. Or doubles it on the wall rather. Team Chaotic with a bit of time. Tripnik just ends up kind of giving this one away. Tries to go for a 50 on low boost, but a smart play from GMB will make that pretty useless. A good read from Duran, covering the low play from the mechanical play. Oh, what a reset and in from Rossi. He gets the lean back reset here, and he does so expertly as well. What a goal from the 3 Dudens. An individual effort there from the 3 Dudens to get themselves up in the series in game 1. And that was a really good game there from the Dudens. So, like, in the tail end of that game, they really had to clutch up, and they most certainly did. And it'll be a tough task for Team Chaotic to come back from that. So close from take that first game. A matter of 2 seconds. And now they're trailing. Rye going for reset himself, and he does get it. What a save by Duran on the goal line, but it'll be for naught as Rossi does come in to secure the goal. And he doesn't get a hat-trick for this game, of course. It's only 9 seconds in, but he does get a hat-trick in the series, totaling all 3 of Dudens' goals here in this series so far. Definitely has had an impressive individual performance. Seemingly on the end of every goal here for Dudens so far. Good pass maybe? Oh no, just went straight for a goal here from Duran. And it'll prove to be quite consequential there. That should have been a goal. Oh, and that's bar down from Ryan. It's the perfect shot. And it is contributed by Rossi as well, as he was able to get the pass off to Rye. Rossi looking to impress even more, and I want to give compliments to all of the players on the 3 Dudens here, because Even the players that haven't quite been on the end of things have looked pretty impressive so far. Had a bad start in the first game, but they've really come back properly. Ah, that should have been a shot on net there from Rai. I'm not sure why he didn't just go straight for the net. But they do remain 2 goals in the lead, so it won't be instantly consequential. Duran, a low boost there, can't really go for play. We'll have to leave it. Dripnik now on 20 boost. Didn't quite have control over the ball. GMB actually the highest seeded player in this event, funnily enough. So he'll be looking to have an impressive performance. Slight whiff there in the midfield from the 3 Dudens, right? You have to keep it relevant. Rossi had a shot there. If you put it slightly more central in the field, he would have scored. So pretty much an open net, but did have a slightly acute angle. So it's not quite the same level of an open net miss. Dripnik now trying to set up a play, gets us to the midfield. Does end up bumping his own teammate a little bit there. And it looks like Chaotic are just looking for any way to really beat this defense from the 3 Dudens, because everything they have been doing so far has not really worked, and the only goal they have got came off of more of a mistake on the defense from the 3 Dudens. So Chaotic not really looking too confident right now. Right, with a pretty uncomfortable touch there. He ball into the midfield. Duran is there, but he misses. The backboard read was not read correctly by the defenders, and Duran came in for the shots, and it looked to be on point, but just slightly off the mark. Rossi just kind of bumping the opponent there to make it awkward, and he ends up missing. A decent touch from Rossi. Does bait in a defender. Low boost as Duran will have a tough time getting this one out of defense. Ball into the midfield. Goalie Monkey is there, but again another save from Dripnik. What a save by him. But they have to get out of defense here because they have to score. They cannot stay in their own half if they want to win this series or make that even this game. Have to score 2 in the next minute and 20 seconds. Duran does get challenged early there by Rai. Good challenge. Keeping up a lot of pressure here are the 3 Dudens. Good challenge there from Monkey Boy. Doesn't quite get the read on the backboard. Teammate is there, and it will be secured as well. 3-0 for the Dudens. Who we playing? The bracket says. I gave you a captain and stuff as well. You can check all the other captains, the ascended captains, so you can message anyone you need to. So yeah, everything is provided. But yeah, it looks to be game set and match here. Oh my god, that should have been in almost. Just off the top corner and out. Sort of really unfortunate bounce there. But yeah. This series should be over 3-0 in 30 seconds. I really can't see it happening. They could get some momentum going into the next series here, or to Team Chaotic, but they do seem like they've just been outplayed here, and yeah. 30 seconds remaining, and they still haven't scored. A shot does come through, but it's another save from goalie Monkey Boy. I mean, what a performance by the 3 Dudens. They've really looked impressive in this series, to say the least. And I'm interested what I can see from them in the coming series as well, as they look really on point here. Ever since that first goal, they've been pressuring so much, and they look ever so impressive, to say the least. Alright. It's a 2-0. I'll edit the brackets. I've been added in my server. Oh, it's just my own stream. That makes sense. That makes sense. Alright, let's go to report scores. No way. He did it with the ball chasing link. He reported a series of the ball chasing link. That's pretty cool. Provide some evidence. That's always nice. I haven't seen that once. Doesn't mean it's not required, so I get it. Why people don't do it. I wouldn't do it myself. So yeah, Amigos are progressing to this round then. Amigos. Who's coming down then? Oh yeah, it is Team Chaotic versus Inquisitors. Okay, Inquisitors, Team Chaotic. We got a rematch there. Good luck to both teams in that match. Would be interesting to watch, but unfortunately we're staying in the upper bracket, so we will not be able to. Yeah, feel free to stream it yourself, I suppose. Would be some good content, I'm sure. So yeah, I gotta make a group here. Actually, I'll just be right back very, very soon. I'm just gonna set up some lobby details, and yeah, we'll catch you very, very soon. Sorry guys, I'm gonna remake the lobby. I am back though, I'm back though. That was wrong. Yeah, the 3 Dudens, but it's versus Amigos. That was the problem there. There we go. I'll get my Discord up. Looks like everybody's in, so we can join indeed. We've got the team of Amigos, Cizon, Ayer, I'm just gonna call him Ayer, and Eevee, playing against the 3 Dudens. GMB, Rai, and Rossi, Too Saucy. Yeah, they know to join up. Alright, the winners semi-final. If you win this, you go all the way to winners final, which will get you a top 3 finish here. So this is actually quite an important series. Will get you much further in the bracket. You know, winning in the upper bracket is just a cheat code to getting far into the tournament. A shot coming out from the 3 Dudens, just slightly wide. Right here, going for that backboard, does get the read, but saved out by Ayer. Eevee able to push this one forward as well. Big pinch coming out from what are these names? I think it's GMB. Yeah, that was GMB. Rai now. He's looked pretty mechanical. I have to say, Rai, I have to compliment his mechanics because he looks to be consistently threatening with just his individual skill here. Looking for a lot of solo plays, and they have been effective to say the least. Obviously slightly awkward here, forced to opt out for the 50. Here, decent attempt, but oh, Ayer there, misread the situation completely, and Rai subsequently scores. Thought the ball was low enough for it to be on target, and he ends up just flying into his own goal. Flies onto the backboard, the ball does, and then a good read there from Rai. Also trying to push this one forward. Good pinch by Ayer to get it out. Good clearance from Eevee. Rai now pushing this one forward. Rossi there. Difficult to deal with. Why are they just numbers? This is so confusing. Why is everyone just numbers? What's going on? Okay, now it seems to be. No, it's not normal. They're still numbers. Why are people just numbers on my screen? I'm so confused. Here, big whiff coming out, but the shot wasn't quite on target from the 3 Dudens. Cizon touches it over to the side. Ayer there gets challenged by Rossi. Big clear from Cizon. Dudens unable to really get it far out there. Rossi able to get it to the side. Slightly bad communication there. Yeah, just passing it to the side, and oh, a shot comes out from Rossi Saucy. And it will be another lead here for the 3 Dudens. Look at that mechanical play from GMB. Cizon not quite reading it. again, and that seems to be a big issue here, is the backboard now for these 2 goals for Amigos. Backboard has been a consistent problem in game 1 so far. But as I was saying, it looks to be a bit miscommunication when you're passing to the sidewall to your teammate on whether, you know, the player on the ball is just going to put it there to pinch it, or whether he's actually putting it there to pass it. And that kind of stuff happens all the time, so it's all about communicating it before it actually happens so that there's no real confusion. Rossi with an okay touch, should be able to get a dunk. No, not quite. A decent touch from Ayer, able to get it off to Evie. Sends it back to Ayer again, but a lot of pressure coming out from the Dudens. Rossi tried to go for a bit of a low 50 there, ends up going behind him. Shot coming out from Evie, not threatening whatsoever, as Rossi calmly puts it to the side here. With a lot of time and space, only Evie to beat here on the defense. Tries to go for a bumping play while spinning it mid, but didn't quite get the connection on the player that was required. Ayer now on the counter-attack, smacks it onto the backboard. Is a player there to shoot? Oh, he was, but not quite on target. And again, the same story for Evie. It's a good slowdown there from the 3 Dudens. Kind of forcing people to challenge on low boost. And because they're desperate for a goal here, the Amigos. And you can see it in their turn when the play seems to slow down from the 3 Dudens. Here a pass down mid, and it's another miss from Cezanne, and then a shot and another miss from the 3 Dudens, and another save coming out now from Rossi Saucy. Another shot saved again by Rossi, and the defense is holding strong, but there's also a couple offensive mishaps here, to say the least, for Amigos, so they're kind of getting away with it a little bit. A banging shot from Rossi will hit the crossbar. And with that goal, they would have definitely secured this game. 40 seconds remaining now, and Amigos still within 1. They just have to make one good opportunity to tie things up. Rossi able to get this one to the side, but still in his own half, so definitely still in a risky position. Oh, Cezanne gets a touch, and there's a double commit, but nobody really there to capitalize on the double commit from the 3 Dudens. Another shot comes through, another save from Rai. Been a pretty interesting match, very 50-50 here, I have to say. But the biggest worry here is the offense from Amigos just not clicking so far. Having a bunch of opportunities but just not able to make it count. See, look at that, 8 shots from Evie and 1 goal. The conversion rate, to say the least, is just not there right now for the Amigos. Alright, we get into game number 2. The 3 Dudens on match point. It's a good kick off there. Evie gets a shot off, but Goalie Monkey Boy in the right position to save it. Ayer able to get it past 1. Not quite able to keep control of the ball to get it past more. Evie now going for solo play, gets the reset, defender there. Oh, a 50 on the goal line. Saved again. This could be a quick counter attack from the 3 Dudens. Wasn't quick enough, as they got forced to the side by a ball chase challenge to make it a little bit more awkward for the 3 Dudens. Subsequently, the Amigos stay alive here early on. And I can just imagine this being a 0-0 for a very long time. Here, Ayer with a decent save. Rossi going for that double tap. Oh, quite the misread on the ball there, whiffing it entirely. Evie down to the midfield. Ayer doesn't quite get the connection he wanted. Goalie Monkey Boy able to get out 50 here. Evie does beat his man there, only able to get it as far as an orange player, however. Ayer Sadly, awkward here for the three Dudens, but they're able to handle it thus far. There's a good clear there from Goalie Monkey Boy, and a good demo as well from Saucy. Should open up some space, but Rai just gives it straight back to Eevee. That was some good plays from three Dudens to make it really awkward for Amigos to defend, and then ultimately they just ended up passing it over. Unfortunate there for the three Dudens. I really could have destroyed the defense there, basically. Big clear from Rai. Eevee able to get it to air. Rossi doesn't quite read the backboard on air. He definitely does. Getting the double tap on target now. And now the offense, we might just see the floodgates open, as the Amigos have got their first goal here in game number 2. They did score in the last one, but after that it looked all the three Dudens in terms of actually connecting in offense. So might just see a different game now that Amigos have struck. Rossi able to get a shot down, bar and out. Slightly just too hard shooting there from Rossi, and we've seen that earlier as well in this game, and potentially even last game, where he comes in and clangs the ball really hard, but it seems to be slightly too hard for his own good. He just ends up hitting the crossbar over and over again, so might have to control his power a little bit more, regulate that. And if he does, then this Readers team, they can really go the whole way in this tournament, really, as they've looked really good so far. But they are trailing against a pretty good Amigos side, who before weren't quite connecting properly, and they're connecting a little bit better now. A pass down from Saison, and Air, he is in position and gets it into the bottom corner. 2-0 lead now. For sorry, I forgot their team name. Amigos. Rossi. Quite awkward here for the three Dudens. Pushes it into his own corner, and Rossi just passes it mid. A good save by Rai, as they just ended up passing it to the opponents who were waiting, lurking in the midfield, to try to pounce, but the three Dudens just about get away with it. Yeah, you're off to the corner. Nobody quite on time in defense. A big page from Rai, and Rossi on accident in defense off a double commit. It almost actually broke the entire defense of Amigos. And pinch coming out. Rai to try to read. Doesn't quite have the boost to read the corner read there. Corner bounce rather. Good save by Saison. Eevee able to get it forward. Saison right there, does get beaten to the ball by Rai. Here, ball, that's actually over the last man. Saison able to strike a third goal for the team of Amigos. And it must have been a bit of an overcommitment there from the three Dudens, as, you know, 30 seconds remaining. They had to get something off, so I can understand it. But yeah, surprising goal to go in. And 3-0 for the Amigos. Shot testing the defense of Amigos, but didn't test it enough to break it. Big clear from Air. And 10 seconds remaining. They should be done and dusted here. Saison getting a good challenge as well, and this has been a pretty good game for Amigos. Definitely revitalized offense for them, and they'll gladly go to game 3. The series decider here. Whatever team wins this match will win the series. We'll go into Champions Field. There we go. Alright, game number 3 here. Series decider between Amigos and the Three Dudens. It's been a pretty impressive showing for both teams thus far. But we do have to crown a winner between these brilliant teams. And I'm not too confident picking either team, to be honest with you. I mean, both of them have looked pretty impressive. They've had their own individual good games. First game, a pretty good game by the Three Dudens. I really liked what I saw from them. The second game, I thought the Amigos looked really good. So this is pretty hard. I think overall the team with the most shots was Amigos throughout the 2 games. So I guess it would be a decent prediction to say them. But I don't know. I've got a feeling for this Three Duden side, and apparently that means they're going to concede. Evie able to strike one into the bottom corner. An early lead from the first minute coming out from the Amigos. Here, GMB going for that backboard, a backboard miss. Suspicious defense there from the side of Amigos, but they were able to get away with it. Here Ayer just sniping that top corner, but it's a save coming out from Rossi off the clearance. And that's just an open net for Rai. Doesn't quite get it on target. There was some defense, but there wasn't too much interception, so he probably should have scored. But yeah, the Three Dudens, they kind of get away with that. We're not gonna lie, but they're able to clinch it eventually as they tie things up. Rossi gets a decent pass off to Rai, and that should be just be an open net. Oh, doesn't quite get a good shot off, and goalie Monkey Boy able to hit it to the crossbar, but again, not quite getting the finish that they wanted. And now they're going to be low on boost. We'll have to track back a little bit and save some time for each other on the side of Three Dudens. Actually, shot coming through, and it's a good demo as well. Rai breaking the defense together with goalie Monkey Boy. A duo effort there, a demo coming in, and a good post and in shot from Rai as well. And that was an extremely quick comeback from the Three Dudens. I mean, Amigos are sort of strong in this game, getting a goal nice and early, and ever since then the defense has just not been optimal for Amigos. Contrast to the offense of Three Dudens really connecting, to say the least. Right, with a bit of time and space here, gets just bumped out of the way, savagely done by Amigos. Goes for the the single mechanical play, and then the solo mechanical play rather, and just gets savagely removed. Evie getting to the corner. Actually, free ball in the midfield and nobody there. Eventually, Cezanne is there to shoot. Not quite enough boost from the side of the Three Dudens. And Cezanne able to snatch one away. 2-2 now. Again in game number 3, an oh so tight game decider, or series decider rather. Here in the winners semi-finals. Bit of a double commit there. Ayer able to get a decent challenge. Rai quick to that one. Looks like he might just have a clean counter. Nobody in defense for Amigos, and it's just a vacant lot over in the blue goal. Decent bumps coming out from GMB as well to just slow down the defense, tracking back ever so slightly. But still enough time remaining here for Amigos to come back. They're only trailing by 1. Cezanne going for a read there. What a save by Rossi, coming out of absolutely nowhere to take that one across his own goal line. Slightly awkward 50 there. Just gotta sits in the midfield and nobody really knowing what to do, and that's just a free ball. Ayer able to tie things up, and a big whiff from the defense of the three Dudens here. Rai not making contact, teammate not in position, and just like that, we're tied up yet again. A minute remaining. It's been back and forwards time and time again in this series, and it has stayed the same when it matters most. Evie able to get a ball in the midfield. Sazon going for the backboard double touch. Read by Rai, able to clear it very long. Big clang from Rai. Rossi will have a hard time reading that. Ayer unable to really clear the ball properly as it stays in the blue half. Evie able to finally get that hard clear, but Rai is in position. Doesn't get it that far. A big pass coming out, but Rossi reads it perfectly. Pre-jumps the shot coming in. And because of that, we will be going into overtime. Series deciding a goal. Golden goal to decide who wins. Rossi with big clearance. Only one man back. Sazon able to get a good clear. Now, a little bit awkward here from GMB in the orange corner. AV able to get this to the backboard. Oh, big whiff from Dudens, and the offense did not see it coming from the Amigos. Some slight chaos ensues. Here a free shot from Sazon. It's saved by Rossi. I thought that was going to be the breaking point for the three Dudens, but they remain alive. A good 50 by Rossi there in the midfield. A good 50 by GMB. Not quite going on target, however, but definitely threatening the blue net. Here GMB with a free shot, and it is on target. Rossi does steal it. And wow, just wow, what a performance by the three Dudens. They had to come back from dire positions in this game, where they had to come clutch with amazing saves, and they were able to do so, to say the least, and able to get the W in game number 3. Progressing to the not the grand final, the winners finals are the three Dudens. Alright. The three Dudens taking on England. That's gonna be interesting. In the meantime, we got Amigos going down. So we got Team Chaotic able to sweep Inquisitors 2-0 in the lower bracket, by the way. Okay. Well, we'll be going to a short BR back screen again, guys, so coming soon is the three Dudens versus England. In the meantime, you can check the other casters by doing !casters, and yeah, we'll see you very, very soon.
Just to feel alive. Faith and desire. Let me feel the light. Chained to the water, drowning in your eyes.
Here is part of an interview with the subject just before LSD is to be administered.
I can see everything in color. Everything is so beautiful and lovely and alive. This is reality. Can't you feel it?
Here is part of an interview with the subject just before LSD is to be administered.
Can't you feel it? Can't you feel it?
What does this all mean to you?
I've never seen such infinite beauty in my life. I'm part of it. This is reality. Can't you feel it?
Yo, we're back. Whoa. Let's go do something real quick there. I'm not gonna lie. Oof, at the run. But we got the winners final coming up. By the way, we got England taking on the three students we've been watching since round number 1. I'm quite interested to see how England is gonna play because England is gonna play because students, they've looked pretty impressive thus far, and from what I predict, I can see them handling the mechanics of students defensively, but then I don't necessarily know how they're going to score either, because the defense has been pretty good from students. It's been inconsistent at times, I will say, but overall, it's been pretty good. So yeah, should be a really interesting series. I'm really interested to see it because England, they've been playing very, very well. We've got, they got Phil Jones up front, Harry Kane in defense, the captain of course, and they've got Harry Slabhead Maguire. I mean, you're not going to concede goals when you have him on your team, so should be interesting. I think Rossi, Saucy, and Rye are also using the Senegal decal, which is quite fitting. So yeah. Oh, a good touch by Rossi there. Almost beating the defense on his own, but didn't quite do it. Big clear here from Hackett. Jake there just trying to pre-jump the challenge from three Dudens, but it never came, so it just kind of flopped around in the end. GMB here with a good redirect. Good save by Umfi. GMB over to the side. Rossi just kind of backflipped on that one, ends up giving it away. Pinch attempt from Rossi gets intercepted easily by Jake Adams. Was it Jake Adams? I think it was. Here Jake with a shot, but not really testing the defense. Three Dudens there. Kicking again, able to cut off the ball there on the midfield line here. Giant defensive blunder, and it will be scored by Hackett, who's just waiting in the midfield. Look at that, just a double whiff on the three Dudens, and England will not waste time trying to pounce on that mistake. And a good start here for England. The three Dudens not quite looking quite on point as they were before. Kind of surprised by a different team here. Not quite functioning the same way that the previous two have, or rather the last one specifically. Oh, it's just an open net misread, but a great save by Rossi. Umfi won't make that chance count. So there you got it. You got the two sides of the coin there. So it compounds on a lot of mistakes. They're you know, just trying to work cohesively as a team, not gonna mechanically outdo anyone in this tournament. There's gonna be a lot of players that have a lot more solo potential than the players on the side of England. But yeah. Should be an interesting one. A good save there by Jake Adams. And a big clear from Hackett. Rossi will be all on his own. And he does misread it as well. And there you go. I don't know what has happened. The three Dudens. Oh, that's a ghost hit touch. That's a ghost touch as well. The three Dudens have just absolutely collapsed. And a fun fact for you as well, that's an open net. Rye does make it count, and they'll put themselves within one. It's been a pretty hectic game so far, but anyway, as I was saying, Hackett has actually played against the three Dudens before, though it was only one of the same players on that roster. And a big clear from GMB, and it's just straight in. What on earth has happened? What has happened to the defense of of England? Absolutely out of nowhere, just conceding to practically in a mere second. Double commit coming out from England. A big clear from the three Dudens, trying to capitalize quickly. Yo, our old tricks. I am having fun just saying England every time I say their team name. I'm not gonna lie. Oh my god, what is it? What is going on? A double commit from the three Dudens, and a double tap, just not quite able to get it on target. Oh my god, it's been absolute just chaos on the fields in game 1 in the winners finals here. Umfi have to clear it to the midfield. It's met by Rossi, however. Here a pass over to Hackett, and it's perfectly done as well. Only had to beat one defender and played it slow and smart. And a bit of an overcommit here from the three Dudens, only allowing one person to defend that play. And it was handled one by one by England. Rossi does get a read, doesn't quite get it far, however. Jake not quite able to get effective touch here. It's an open net for Rossi, and he does make it count. Again, vacant defense. We've seen it a couple times, and it's been the case again. but who will succeed when there's just utter chaos? That's the question here, is who can get on top when absolutely everybody is making offensive, defensive mistakes time and time again. And oh my god, Umphy getting away with that whiff as well. Here, GMB getting one reset, trying to go for the bump, unable to find it. Good 50 by Rossi. Right is up, but saved by Hackett, able to get it out for now. 6 seconds remaining, tied in game number 1. Jake putting it into the corner, Umphy there to collect, just tries to put it down. Rai, however, wants to keep it up, but does hit the floor eventually. Rossi just hits it out, doesn't want to be too risky, and that's what you see very, very often in these overtimes, is both teams tend to play a little bit more passively, don't fully commit themselves into the offensive play, just for the chance that their teammates do indeed mess up. Here, Rossi with a shot, easily saved by Jake, but he only puts it as far as another offensive player. As another shot came in, but saved again by the England defense. A bit of miscommunication here on the side of 3 Dudens. Hackett puts it to the midfield. Nobody quite there. Umphy. Uncontrolled touch there, right. Keeps it up, gets a decent pinch. Jake, however, no, sorry, Hackett in position. Gets bumped out of the way. Rossi to the midfield. Big challenge from Jake. Ooh, double whiff from the offense and defense there from both sides. Right. Gets it onto the back with a whiff coming out. Oh, almost. Goalie Monkey Boy able to break the defense, but just marginally will remain out of the goal. And it's definitely England that are suffering the most pressure here. The 3 Dudens been pummeling the orange net a little bit here. He tries to get that read, and guy in the midfield went for the shot as well, so you could see a bit of an overcommitment eventually coming out from the 3 Dudens. Demo came out, but GMB in position. Low boost, however, the 3 Dudens, now they're the ones struggling in defense. Rossi, bit of whiff on that one. Free shots for Hackett, saved by goalie Monkey Boy. Here, ball into the midfield. GMB clears it out. Jake trying to take his time, but he didn't get a read on the bounce. Jake just about gets it out of his own crossbar. Definitely holding on by thin margins here are England. Incredible cut out by Jake. Tries to get the bump as well. Unable to do so. Right back to the midfield. Rossi there does get a whiff, unfortunately, as England are allowed to breathe. Ball onto the backwood again. Good read by Hackett. Hackett beaten to that ball. Goes into the midfield. Big shot, way too high from GMB. Now Umphy tries to clear it out. Only goes as far as Rossi. Clangs another one. The Monkey Boy clangs out way too hard, as Jake is able to get it out. However, Rossi again on the midfield line, keeping this one in the half of England. Oh, a demo here from Umphy. Another demo attempt, and it will go in. Umphy will be credited with the goal, but it's all through the efforts of Jake here, getting this demo on the last man, or rather just threatening the bump and the demo, able to force them out to jump, and England able to get game number 1 in this best of 5. I forgot to change the map, guys. I do apologize. Alright, we get game number 2 underway. Bully Monkey Boy going for that backboard right there with the shot. Pre-jump save by Hackett. Rossi will have some time to deal with this one. Does clang it away on 0 boost. Gets savagely demoed as well. Decent play by Umphi, trying to thread the needle a little bit there, but defense holding out strong for the 3 Dudens. Ball into the midfield again. Rossi cutting that one out, getting a good dunk there as well. Jake having to track back. Decent hit off to the backboard, and no good read from Jake, and Rai will be there to score. And to be fair, it was a really good counter attack there. A crazy dunk and a hard read here for Jake. Just missing by very thin margins. Rossi with a big clearance. Slippery set actually coming out from Hackett, so not his forte, but has tried to use it there and wasn't quite able to beat the defense. Just still standing strong as they're flopping about a little bit for the 3 Dudens. A shot coming through from Umphi. The defense not really showing the respect there. Jake with a good touch into the midfield and nobody really covering the goal. Rossi going on his own as GMB goes for the demo. Oh, it tries to get over to Rai, wasn't able to do it on his own, but unfortunately did not get it to work for them. Hackett unable to get this to the midfield. Umphi slightly awkward there. Hackett again tries to get it back to Umphi, but unable to connect with each other there. Good clearance there by Hackett. Umphi again tries to bounce off the quick counter attack. Oh, Jake had a golden opportunity to score there and had the opponents pre-jumping the shot, but just slightly wide of the goal as it remains tied 1-1. Here, decent mechanic play down to the midfield, but nobody really having faith in that working out. Slightly reluctant from the 3 Dudens, but it's understandable as they're currently tied. No real need to score, or you can just play it somewhat safe and eventually just try to beat the defense for just better play whilst maintaining their defense. Okay, nobody able to commit to that one, and that's an awkward read, and Rossi does make it, to be fair. Here, pass came in from Jake into midfield, but nobody was able to go. And unfortunately for them, they end up trailing subsequently. JB going for one reset, going for the read as well. But yeah, he got it way too high. He had to get that read off the backboard in order to score that one. Defense slightly awkward from the 3 Dudens. The ball goes into the midfield. Jake's there to shoot, puts it onto the backboard, but nobody there to try to score another opportunity. England just not quite getting that team play that they're searching for. Decent back pass from GMB. So Rossi just kind of passes it back to the offense of England. Rossi here with free ball. No, never mind. GMB just comes in and steals it off of him. Slight lack of chemistry a little bit in the tail end of this game for the 3 Dudens. Right. Almost mechanically just individually outplay the entire defense there. England. GMB able to get it to Rossi. No, Rossi actually staying back. That's fine though. No real threatening play coming out from England. Umfi. His play gets overwritten by that of Jake's, though still not quite working out. Pass to the midfield, but no boost on the side of England. They're forced to track back, and 20 seconds remaining. They do need to get a goal. Double demo coming out from Rye will make that all the more unlikely. Pass coming out to the midfield, and a good save from Hackett. Umfi, the good read as well. 4 seconds remaining, and it looks like it's gonna hit the ground. Oh no, for some reason GMB kept it up. Eventually does go for the ground though, as we're tied up here in the winners final. I will actually change the map this time. Game number 3, we get underway over in Neo Tokyo. GMB going higher, going for the ceiling shot as well. Does he get the read? Almost. As England hold on. Rossi going for another individual effort here. Easily read by the defense of England. I kept him doing it. Oh, a very soft shot there from GMB, almost beating the defense. GMB able to get it over to Rye on the backboard. Tries to pass it back down, but didn't quite get the connection that was required to make it quite effective. Jake there in defense to save it to the side. Tries to get the pre-jump dunk. Unable to do so. Quick play coming out from the three students. Jake trying to pinch this one out. And as far as GMB, clangs us in the opposing corner. If he tried to take it slow, but an early challenge coming out again. Though not detrimental instantly. Rossi with decent control here. GMB to try to take over, but again, not quite doing so properly, as he just kind of loses control. GMB caught out by Umfi in defense, as we remained tied up 0-0. 1 minute and 30 through game number 3. Rossi, what a great recovery there in an attempt to follow up that touch. There was still not really breaking the defense here. England staying strong so far and holding on. Jake there with an attempt. Not quite threatening. Oh, what a shot from Rye! It's slightly off, but Rossi is there to make sure that one eventually finds its way at the back of the net. Look at that, it's redirect from Rye, just absolutely deleting the defense of England. Now Rye, solo effort goes low, read by Umfi. GMB able to do anything with that one, gets intercepted. Rossi, however, almost gets in a threatening position. Umfi, decent 50 to behind him. Teammate doesn't quite get an effective touch, however. Hacker just kind of gives it away. Misread from the defense of England, and they're barely hanging on after a save from Hackett. Here, decent pass off to Jake, but cut out by Rye. Well orchestrated play by Umfi and Jake, but not quite threading the needle there. Sorry, I flubbed my words a little bit. Good save by Hackett again. 3 Dudens still in the lead, 1-0. Rossi there to shoot, but a good save by Jake, intercepting the pass. And we've seen it a couple times, but England seem to be a little bit on low boost. And they're having an awkward time transitioning into offense. Bit of space here. Jake able to beat a couple players to the ball. Now tries to get into the midfield and does find Hackett, but it does get saved out by GMB. A wonderful stop by the Scottish player himself. Hackett able to get it downfield. GMB gets it back to Rye. Rye gets it back to Rossi. Puts it down to the top corner where Rye is found again. A pass down to Rossi, and he does make it count. And it's just keep passing to each other, and eventually they find the net. The 3 Dudens outclassing England here in game number 3. And it's important to be said, not just on a mechanical basis, also you can see the team plays they've been putting up, especially that one. And now it's up to England to step it up a notch, because they're going to have to play better than what they've shown so far to take games off of this 3 Dudens team again. Right. Not quite able to get that read off the backboard. And 3 seconds left and 2-0, and yeah, that's the 3 Dudens confirmed on match point. 2-1 for the 3 Dudens. 1 game away from making the grand final in the ascended tier of the not the Tryhard Games, Titans 3. My apologies. What map I'm going on DFH. That's right. That's right. Game number 4 starting here in DFH Stadium. And it's a kickoff goal. No, saved by Oomph in the last second. I really thought that was going to be a starting goal there for the 3 Dudens, but latch this effort from Oomph will save England from absolute tragedy in game number 4. Here Jake, trying to get this pass off to the midfield, and Rye does have an open net counter attack. Able to make it count as well, and 1-0. They do get their early lead. 30 seconds in. Very unfortunate 50 there. Just pinches it back straight to the half of England. Here Rye with another shot stopped by Jake. Rossi now. Individual effort into the side and tries to get Reed down to the midfield. Nobody quite there. I'm disappointed to see that. I thought the 3 Dudens really would have had the faith there in Rossi to finish that play. Oh my god, almost an own goal from Rossi. Oh. However, Jake now actually backflips on that play. Hackett trying to get to it eventually, but Rye was there just a bit quicker. Good pre-flip there from Rossi, just able to beat the man there from England. A good shot as well, but just marginally wide. And Rossi, great track back. The teammate not quite on the same page. Communication not on point for the 3 Dudens. Because realistically, when you got someone who can just chase the ball in that kind of type of play, it's always more advantageous to have the person just track back because the defender can't see them, and Jake will be able to tie this things up. Look at this ball off to the backboard. No read coming in fast enough from the three Dudens, and Jake able to make them pay. Free ball here for Rossi. Going low here, I saw it coming. Umfi. A decent read. Rossi. Clears it out. So not quite in a safe place right now. Hackett now. Tries to pinch it to a dangerous area. Here a follow-up from Umfi, but doesn't quite redirect the ball in the right direction of the goal. Unable to make that play count. Jake with a misread there, and it might just be an open net for Rossi, and he does get it behind him. It's a great shot by Rossi, getting it just behind the last defender there, just in case they pre-jumped it. GMB again solo, goes for a bump. Not quite gets it off the way he wanted to. Oh, good dunk from Ufi, almost just absolutely annihilating the defense just from that 150. Hackett now going for a solo effort, going for that backboard, but Rossi in position. As the offensive play from England gets nullified. Big clear from Rossi, goes straight to Hackett, gets it into the corner, over to Jake. He doesn't quite get the play he wanted to, just putting it way too far. He passed from Ufi down to the midfield, and shot does come in from Hackett into the top corner, and they tie things up 2-2. Reminder, the three Dudens are on match point. They win this game and they're over through to the grand finals. Slightly awkward there from Rossi, but teammate able to bail him out. Hackett now going for that backboard. Rossi in position, follows it up as well. Controls, doesn't quite get the shot, and again miscommunication. GMB right there, and Rossi doesn't actually end up dipping away from the play. Umfi with an opportunity here, tries to pinch it to the midfield. Jake's right there, not quite able to beat the defenders there from three Dudens, who just about stay alive. 30 seconds remaining as things remain tied. JK trying to get a redirect. GMB has it completely under control. Gets it over to Rai, fakes one out. Gets control again now. Flick over to GMB, but gets it slightly too far. GMB too close to get to that one. That's really important there from Hackett, but does he have a teammate back? Yes, he does. Jake able to get it out, and Umfi and himself. So even further up the pitch now. Umfi taking his time. Lets Jake shoot, but the shot was just not what was required as we go into overtime. Here a read coming up from England. Actually, the defense just not quite in position there from the three Dudens, but nobody in offense from England. Big clear from Hackett over to Jake. Goes for the backboard again. Hackett not wanting to commit for that one. Big redirect from Rai, and Rossi will be credited with the goal. The redirect didn't quite come in from Rai. It was just a big clear, and there's the defense not quite in position. Umfi too far up, potentially not on boost. And just like that, they've won the series. Yeah, it was a great, really good series from the three students there, really clutching up after that first game. It looked extremely chaotic from both sides, but three students able to get it together for the last three, and really just looked mechanically superior. Even you could say the passing plays as well. For England, I mean, they're going down to the lower brackets, but yeah, I mean, I'm impressed with them. They made all the way to the winners' final, beating Ascension and SSFG Invicta. So yeah, making the winners' final is already a guarantee of like you are a good team for this tier, without a doubt. And if they improve on that performance, then I'm sure they can beat some really good teams and make it back to the grands. Okay. So 3-1 for the students. Okay, guys, we will be right back, but we're gonna go into a BR back screen. In the meantime, the losers semi-final will be playing between Team Chaotic and Session TBD. We'll see you very shortly.
to get heavy.
Two choices on my mind. 4 hours on the road. Give way to control. Go around it 1,000 times. I'm holding on too tight. Let it go and feel the ride. Is it stupid that I love you when I never felt so away? Was it all just a big mistake? Do I wanna let it happen? Do you wanna just walk away when you feel like my soulmate? But it's all gold, and it's all good. But it's all gold, and it's all good. Is it stupid that I love you? Is it stupid that I love you? Was it? Is it stupid that I love you? Was it? Staring hard at the future, only close my eyes to blink. This is my sanctuary, this is my place to think. I'm driving till I find what I've been looking for. But it's inside. Do I walk on the coconut? Do I run to the forest? Do I stand in the fire? Or do I hide from this moment? Do I let someone else take the fall? 'Cause I'm scared that I'll lose it all.
Alright, we are back again. I'm going to get Timmins into the call, by the way. We're going to have the losers final, England versus Ascension. I'm going to get Timmins in. We're going to co-cast this one. Yo! Wait, can I hear you?
How?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, you're on stream.
I know.
Okay, speak a little bit. Speak a little bit.
Okay, how's everyone doing? We got England versus Ascension, or should I say England, as I'm sure they'd actually pronounce it.
I've been trying to do that constantly, by the way.
Yeah,
Like,
I
90% of the
I
time.
just said England.
90% of the time, I've been saying England.
I wish I had your commitment. I just had to go England in the first broadcast.
Yeah, I might have to dip from that commitment. I've
Yeah,
already told
it's a
them they're
shame.
allowed to join the game, so you know, yeah. This
Yeah,
is
they
typical.
should be good.
No, they're probably not.
Cherry, is it the same? I believe this is the same lineup as in the round one games.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, Ascension versus England, and it's the same players and all. So it's a bit of a grudge match, I think. Ascension are going to want to prove that they can beat them.
You know what? I think what's happened is they haven't actually read what I've messaged them. Which
You
is
reckon?
join the match when all of us are in the lobby.
Did we message saying, John?
You can join. You can say that to me. You have chat enabled. We've got a
Should I-
statement from
yes,
chat.
I'd put join.
We've got a statement from chat. England is watched. Duran 2022.
RT was destroyed because of a connection error. Yes.
Okay, well, anyways, we've got the losers final going on here. We're gonna start in Beckwith Park as usual. Hopefully this time I remember to change the map. But we've got Ascension making a lower bracket run, facing off against England. After they just got knocked down a peg by a dude who's really showing their mechanics in the last series. So I'm interested to see what's gonna come out from them. What do you think is gonna happen here for England? I mean, did you cast any of their series earlier?
Yeah, I had England's first round one game, and they looked a little bit hazy during that first match. But I think after that, they managed to get themselves together, they got themselves warmed up. They only had one scrim beforehand. I think once they were properly in the flow of things, they were able to, they were starting to play better. And I think that's what really gave them the edge against Ascension.
Yeah, I think it's important to mention that this is a rematch from round one. In round one, England Hacker be able to score that one. 4
I was
minutes
trying to
and
speak
12
about it.
remaining. Yeah, England! Jake able to get a really important demo there, or bump rather, and Hackett's coming in, but this is a rematch. England able to win that one 2-1 earlier in the first round, so Ascension they're gonna have to get the revenge if they want to make the grand final.
You wonder if it might actually affect their mental a little bit. Obviously, players in these sort of scenarios need to keep their heads high no matter what. But they're currently facing a team that they know they've lost to. Do you reckon that might, give them a bit of worry going into this?
It's probably a bit of a worry because it's a bit of a thing in Rocket League that you just have less confidence against teams that you've previously lost to. So I think it could plague their minds. That being said, they are playing as a team that might just go down to the curse of losing the winners final and then also losing the losers final. So I think the momentum is pretty 50-50 for both teams.
Yeah, I am going to say this. We have a message from chat saying you need to update. Update. It's not the Three Dudes versus England anymore.
Oh no! Let me change that. Wait.
It is not the Three Dudes. It's Ascension TBD.
Wait. Okay, I just did press new series. I think that's what happened there.
The overlay is going to have to be changed to as Ascension almost get one on target. That's going to be crossbar and down. They've almost equalised, but luckily for England, it wasn't quite in. It's dead now. Tries to get a shot on, but it will be saved.
I think it's important to mention as well. Oh, what a demo there! And almost a play there from Cherry to get a goal, but it's just slightly too high, and does seem to me like the miscommunication might be coming out there from Ascension. But here, another pass. No, again a big demo here from Umfi. As Hackett now actually going for mechanical play. We didn't see too many mechanics coming out from England in the last series I watched, but seems like they might be trying to switch things up a little bit more.
Yeah, from what I've seen of England, obviously they only haven't casted that one series. They weren't really a team that relied on their mechanics. These are three people that they know each other. They're good friends, and I think they just need to rely on their chemistry. They've been trying to get along without doing too many mechanics, which is absolutely fine. I'd argue Ascension have had a really good way of passing around. They seem to always know where each other are on the field, always getting passes going. But it's possible that England just have, as I say, I was about to say they might have the advantage as Cherry puts one in. Commentator's curse almost. But I think, this game could really go either way.
Yeah, an individual effort there from the Polish man himself also representing a Polish uni in fact, but didn't quite make the UR winter event for his respective uni, but I'm sure he'll regain.
Try and earn money here instead.
Yeah, the Titans 3 money, I mean, it's just a big tournament, attracting players like Cherry, just a very privileged man in Rocket League. Not really, but oh, shock him out from Alter, off of the play from the man himself, Cherry again. Really popping off now, the individually skilled player from Ascension, really on point right now.
Yeah, Cherry for me, he's been very, very solid for Ascension. It's weirdly, I think Alter and Dead's turned up quite a lot from what I've seen. Obviously, I've casted Ascension every single one of their games, other than the one that the Bobby just streamed. But from what I've seen, Cherry, he's made a few mistakes, but overall quite a consistent player. And Dead as well, he's been very strong on defense, and he set up a lot of passes. So I think this is a team that, they've got a lot of team chemistry, and they can get passes going, and as long as they don't mess up on defense, they're absolutely fine.
50 seconds remaining now as Ascension, they're looking to get another goal to secure them the bag for this game, but looking a little bit insecure here. The defense from England is holding on, but a lot of gaps showing up in the tail end of this game.
Yeah, they're gonna have to regain if they want to bring it back up. So this is a best of 5 scenario now, not a best of 3. So it must be said as well. I was talking about how people were feeling going into this before. Ascension may have lost to this team of England before, but they're also coming off of a win. England have to come back from having lost the 3 Dudens. So you argue that Ascension might have a better mental going into this.
10 seconds remaining, and play from Alter to secure the game. 5 seconds remaining. Umfi has to make a progressive play here.
They got to keep it up.
Jake able to keep it up. Cherry and Alter double committing there, but it's a big clear. That should be game, and it goes down. Ascension able to take game 1.
That will be 1-0. A great game. Obviously, I think England looked a little bit worrisome. They didn't look too confident. I argue Ascension, they kept more composure during that game. I think that's what gave them the edge. England need to tighten up the comms, if you ask me.
Yeah, they really need to get more tight, you would say.
That could be misinterpreted.
But I'm not sure why anyone would do that. That would be out of pocket if anyone would take that. Yeah. But I've actually got another fun fact for you, which is Deddy. That's actually the full username of Dead. I'm not sure why he's called Dead right now, but Deddy. Deddy is actually a player that I played against in IEL, now rebranded as ERS. We had pretty much the same position in our group, but they actually kept winning against us for some reason. We actually had a bit of an individual problem with that team.
Hang on, sorry, I had a bit of a technical difficulty in that I lost connection to Rocket League servers. I'm back now.
Okay, rejoin us. Are you back? Oh yeah, you're in.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm in.
Good read there from Hackett, really covering the offensive play from Ascension pretty well there. Jake going high, Deddy, a good read, and looking like they're having an easy time getting this one out, but not quite making it effective.
Yeah, unlike their name, England need to make sure that they're going for goals. Because if you look at England in the World Cup, they drew with the USA, and that's not good enough. You can't draw in Rocket League. They've got to get some goals going.
Maybe they just need to go to overtime.
Yeah, overtime, get a really long overtime, and then, I don't know, have Umfi strike one off.
Yeah, Umfi, I mean, him specifically, I think he's definitely got a new gear to reach into. Last series, he was caught out in the last, as the last defender a couple times. Hacker here, forced to make a good save, does get it as well. Umfi clears it to the side. Deddy, though, keeps mounting that pressure, and now Alter forced to put it back into his own half.
Yeah, Umfi for me, no disrespect to him, he's a great player, but I think he's played the game the least out of the England roster, and you know it's been a bit of an interesting player in that he's clearly got the skill, but he just needs to apply it better. He's a little bit, I don't want to use the term washed, but I'm going to use the term washed. He needs to try and get back into the sort of Rocket League groove, if you will, because right now he's not playing his best.
There you go. They got a big statement, and Deddy able to get the shots, able to break the tie game as they get a 1-0 lead. Ascension, they're looking pretty good. And what a pass by Sherry again.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The passing plays between Ascension, they just have so much chemistry.
By the way, I got an interesting thing to say. Is basically what Timmons has been saying is if you shower less, you play better in Rocket League.
Absolutely, that is 100% factual, proven by scientists.
Oh, another shot from
What a
Deddy, but what a save!
My goodness, Lewis keeps, Hackett keeps the hopes of England alive. You never want to go 2-0 down, even if it is the most dangerous lead.
Quoted by who? I wonder who said that.
I don't quite remember who said that, you know?
Yeah, I think it might have been some guy called CYB, 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 CYB.
I think his name was Kib.
Kib, yeah, CB, 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 CB.
I think it's CYB. Alter headset mid, but it will be met by Hackett. Umphy now is going to try and take up the ball. Does he have boost? Only 11. He might not be able to do much here, as he can't get it past Cherry, and that will pitch dangerously towards the England net.
Yeah, slightly overcommitted there from England, and if you communicate the boost counts correctly, you don't really do that. So, slight miscommunication there by the England side. Sorry.
England.
So.
I'm gonna have to, you know, I'm gonna use a football chart. It's, come on, England, score some goals. Like, come on, it's you need to get the scoring, because Ascension, they're eventually gonna wear you down. They're gonna keep getting these passing plays going. They're gonna keep up the pressure. They haven't yet. I'd argue England haven't really had a good opportunity yet this game. They need to get something going.
Hackett, not quite able to get on the end of that one the way he wanted to. Gets a great bump though. No real reception from his players, however. Had to commit hard for that to work out. Here Hackett will be there in the midfield as it bounces down and is able to make it count.
That will be the equaliser they need. They're going to have to take that. A minute 41 remaining in this game. Plenty of action still to happen in game 2. And there's the equaliser for England.
By the way, I have to say that's some interesting taste to use the old Dignitas decal of the logo that absolutely nobody liked. I have to say, not ideal preset choice there from, is it Deddy? Yeah, I have to say, not liking it.
It's not like England at all. You've very well coordinated their decals. They're all in Octanes and they've all got the England decal. No surprises who they're going to be supporting during the World Cup.
Yeah, it must be Wales.
Yeah, I think I was leaning more toward Poland.
Yeah, I love me some Poland. I love Poles and lands. Polands.
Very.
I love
that might fall
Poland.
dangerously mid. Oh, Hackett able to get a nice clear. Umphy hits it up. It will fall to Alter. He's going to take this up the wall. It's tied up in this game. Any goal at this point in the match could be devastating for the opposing team. Trick it on to just 40 seconds remaining in game 2.
Oh, it's a big play here.
It's
Deddy
fire.
actually able to get on the end of that one. I really thought this was going to be saved, but yeah, just a lack of cohesion here. Actually, just the passing play not quite on point. Somebody expecting a pass, the pass not coming out. Just allowing a lot of space here for Ascension to capitalize on the play, and it did so extremely well. On top of it, England, with 30 seconds remaining, they have to tie things up.
The demo left Hackett in the background, that won't affect the play all that much. But yeah, it's a shame for England. They managed to get the equaliser. I was hoping they could maybe carry momentum through to get a game win here. But Ascension catch them sleeping almost on defense. Deddy, he's been very consistent, Deddy. The entirety of the Ascension roster really has been very good this entire tournament so far. Deddy has been very clinical in attack and defense. As we have 0 seconds, Umphy's got to keep it up. It will go down. That will be Ascension taking game 2.
Match point, series point here for Ascension. If they win the next game, they will be going over to the grand final in the upper brackets. Though,
No second chances now for England.
looking at the score, by the way, let me just 5 saves coming out from Hackett. Impressive
Yeah, look at that.
defensive performance, I suppose you could
He is-
say.
maybe should be called, you know, either Ramsey or you know, Ramsdale. Sorry, Ramsdale or something, or Pickford, because he's clearly the goalkeeper here for this England team.
Look at these titles, by the way. Blizzard Wizard, all these season 14 titles. They're trying to look washed on purpose.
He sweats.
No, they're
Imagine
trying to
being
look washed.
No, imagine being a Blizzard Wizard.
Imagine being an RNG champ.
You stick on a Grand Champ title and be done with it.
Alright, we get game number 3 underway. England will have to reverse sweep if they want to win this one. Cherry trying to start this one off early, but didn't quite have the boost for that one.
He's opted into the Dominus, if you notice that. Possibly a car favour. I've seen him use the Dominus quite a lot. It does seem to suit him quite well. As said, a change was needed. Something or anything for England. It's all or nothing at this point. They cannot afford another loss. It is now or never.
Cherry on low boost, but the defense doesn't quite know it. A big flick down to the midfield, and
Deddy!
Deddy does make it count yet again. 30 seconds in, and Ascension already leading.
Telling you, this man, look at Cherry. He gets the flick mid. This man, Eddie, he's so good at just reading these passes. And there's nothing England can do. If Ascension are this good in attack, then I'm not sure what they're just going to be worn down constantly. And as I say that, Hackett gets Jake gets a chance, but he can't quite put it on.
Yeah, it was a well played pass there from England, but the defense just way too fast, and that's been one of the key points here for Ascension, is just generally speaking they can play at a faster level of play as opposed to England, who are struggling to keep up against their opponents.
I notice you have managed to continue saying England every time. I respect
Not
that.
not actually every time. I do forget at some
what
points.
the- That was dangerous. If Deddy didn't expect the whiff from Umphy there, he perhaps could have scored. As now Jake will get an equaliser, a la last game. As Hackett just about dunks it past the Ascension defense. Jake left with a practically open goal.
It's well played counter-attack from the England side, but they'll have to do a little bit more if they want to get this reverse sweep properly underway. As Alter able to get it over to Deddy, who tries to take this one slowly, doesn't quite commit too badly for that play. Alter getting a decent 50 there.
Hackett
Jake?
almost got it past him. Umphy's going to go for this. Is the Dominus going to make a difference for him? It's not the best of shots, almost. Some miscommunication there from the Ascension side. You worry that neither of them was going to go for it, but Cherry now will clear it out for Umphy to take control.
Now ball, free ball for Cherry to shoot, and it isn't quite on target. The England side
have
kind
had
of
the
getting away with
guardian
that one with one there.
Let's casting side.
Thank you, man.
Oh, Ultron was getting a brilliant dunk there as I step over my own words. Oh, that's a good play here. England might have something cooking as Umphy tries to get that mid. I don't think Jake was prepared for it though. He's here for it now though. Can he get it past Cherry? No, he can't quite. Umphy's just going to clap that upfield and hope. Gets it mid now. Is Hackett there? Yes, he is, and that's just about gone in. It was almost a great save from the Ascension defense. But Hackett gets to the ball quicker, and that will be 2-1 to England.
It's a good play from England, but yeah, it's pretty, you hate to see it when you get the save, you hit it onto the floor, and then you kind of double, triple tap it back into your own net. It's very unfortunate for Ascension, but yeah, they have to keep it up. I mean, they've definitely stepped down a little bit, and England, they're taking advantage, and they're getting slightly more cohesion on their side now.
Yeah, they're looking stronger. The deficit between the communication, I think, has definitely narrowed as Hackett has a great chance here. That's going to go off the backboard. Fortunately, no one from England there. And Umphy's at a howler. Luckily, though, Jake will be there to get a backboard clear.
Pretty interesting to see there. Alter, all the zero boosts just going for a massive pre-jumping dunk, but the defense from England were able to play around it. Here, Deddy with a decent opportunity passes it to Cherry, but didn't commit to it. Saw the defense from Umphy and backed down. Definitely a lot of respect for each other here between these two teams.
Yeah, I've seen that before quite a lot from Ascension. I say quite a lot. It's not been too often, but more than anyone else, you have players who will just, they're going to be unsure. about pushing for a ball. They don't want to take the risk, and they'll just back out. And I think, you know, it seems like a bit of a pussy tactic, but I think this worked out for them. They don't concede all that often. And I say that they've conceded a lot in their first series, but you know, everyone's got to warm up.
It's important to mention though, generally speaking, more passiveness tends to come out once you get to match points, and that's what Ascension have done. They've looked, generally speaking, the better team, and now that they've reached match point, they've reached an extra level of passiveness. What a musty flick here on the backboard, no reception in the midfield as England are able to make a counter-attack.
Yeah, minute left here. You think that almost could have been the equaliser for Ascension. It's now England who are on the attack. Hackett can't quite get it there, but it will be Umphy trying to take up the ball. That'll bounce unfavourably though. Cherry might want this. No boost though, can't jump for it. And Jake will get a clearance.
Here, what a pass from Deddy. Alter, he's got a free opportunity at net there. 30 seconds remaining, and have completely thread the needle here. The defense absolutely depleted of any resources, and they're able to capitalize.
He just wasn't able to get out to the ball quick enough. The extra length Dominus gives him, you know, only gives him a few pixels. It's not feet. And he just wasn't able to quite get up to it to prevent the pass. And then Alter was simple enough. He just had to hit it in.
England have definitely stepped up into this game, but they have to go the extra mile. Deddy trying to get that read slightly, does not do it correctly. Now a good 50 from Hackett. Defense has to stay strong here for England as they're facing some pressure. No, they're actually onto a counter-attack now. Just completely wasted, however. Deddy with a big clear. Able to drop it down though are England.
Extra time, or overtime, sorry. This is football terminology with extra time in game 3 here. Like I said, this is going to be very, very nervous for England, who cannot afford even the slightest errors at this point in the series. They know if they lose this overtime, they are out of the Titans 3 Ascended tier.
Yeah, the last overtime I think I saw them play, we saw a third man overcommit on the midfield line, getting punished from England with a big clear off the opposing side, and you hate to see if that happens again. Here, a pass off back to Jake, almost making it count, but not quite the individual brilliance that these players have to actually make it count. Oh my, what a save from Hackett, making that one a little bit too close for comfort, but they get away with it.
Hanging on by a thread, aren't they? Oh, that's not good. There's a demo coming out for Ascension. And England, I wouldn't say they're all over the place, but I do think the mentality might be making them a bit worried. As they're on the attack. Now that might go in, but a great save by Deddy.
Positioning has been one of the strong points for this England side, but it definitely looks like they've been struggling against Ascension, who've just been able to tear them apart one by one. But England, they're in a bit of a tight spot here. Jake with a big clear. Deddy now last man. Clears it to the side. And it looks like England are just not really getting the plays they want. Every time they do get possession, they just seem to be wasting the play.
It's interesting to think that, you know, I don't know this Ascension team as much as I know this England team. And I know for a fact that England, these players, they know each other, but they don't play with each other all that often. This is their first tournament with each other, and as far as I know, they only had one scrim coming into the tournament. It's possible that Ascension, you know, if they've played with each other before, they're just more comfortable with each other's play styles, and that really could give them an edge here as we trickle on to 2 minutes into overtime. I have no idea how this is going to go.
Some excuses coming out from Timmins for the England side. No bias whatsoever here on the casting booth, of course.
I don't know what you mean.
Aka here, trying to get a decent dunk though. Cherry just a little bit too fast. Deddy back to the midfield. Umphy actually gets kind of faked out there. Jake now on the counter attack. Doesn't get it over anyone. Alter actually able to keep up some pressure here, but Hackett able to get it over to Jake, who tries to get a decent pop, but again the defense of Ascension is just not being tested, although they did have a bit of a defensive mishap there.
Yeah, you think that was almost close to going in. Luckily Cherry was back. No one's to get the save. I'd argue, if I had to choose a team that looks stronger in this overtime, it's been Ascension. I think England have been a bit almost lucky not to concede so far. They've kept their defence strong though, and they just need to keep applying pressure all they can, because eventually something's going to cave in, but it's just which team will it be? Which team is going to have to give up?
A lot of nerves will plague the minds of both teams here. Umfi trying to go for a reset, doesn't quite get it. The shot almost worked out there from Jake, however. Alton now going high. Umfi reads it perfectly, hits it straight back to Cherry, however. Hits it straight back to Hackett. Doesn't quite have the boost to get a decent touch, however. And Alter tries to get control.
Yeah, this has been better so far. The last sort of minute 30 seconds, England have been on the attack a lot more. They're applying more pressure, and there have been a few moments for Ascension that have looked a little bit worrying. Because, you know, it's starting to look good for England, I must say. They've been the stronger team in these sort of last minute.
Definitely a couple holes to capitalize on for England to win against Ascension here, but it does look like a tall task as Ascension, they've played very well so far. They've got the lower bracket momentum in their favor. They've got two games in their favor already. All they need is this overtime and they will be going to the grand final, but they're 1 goal away still.
They're nearing almost a 5-minute overtime almost, 4 minutes 15 seconds. Eventually these teams might start wearing out. The efforts are going to get more drastic, but as I say that, Hackett manages to get a game-winning goal, and that is everything England need. They need to carry this momentum through now. They've got a game win. They know they can beat Ascension, and it could go either way at this point.
A lot of cohesion there involved as well. All 3 players involved in that play. A pass over to one, a pass over to the other, and a third, making sure they capitalize on their chances. And it's been a pretty tight affair in game number 3 here between England and Ascension. And once you start to get a little bit more momentum, it can be pretty worrisome for the team that's getting reverse swept. So will be a lot of pressure on both teams to keep this going.
Yeah, looks like we're going to be going to DFH here for game 4. This is anybody's series. Obviously Ascension, I will say, they've looked more calm. They've looked calmer. They have a bit more cohesion. But England played I noticed that they were much stronger as those minutes trickled on in the overtime. If they can keep playing how they were there, this really could be their series.
You can ask the question of whether that was only due to the case of Ascension being more passive this throughout the overtime in comparison to England, who really couldn't afford losing that game. So they might just play a little bit more differently than what they have beforehand. I will see whether it was just a one-off game or not very shortly as we go into game number 4.
Yeah, I think it was a case of, obviously, Ascension knowing they only had to take one more game, play more passively. You think England also would have played a little bit carefully, knowing that they could not afford to concede many goals. As long as they can score more, that's fine. But it's always going to be a bad affecting on the mental if you just keep conceding. So it's possible both teams are playing passive there. I think we'll see a bit more aggression in this game though, as Jake gets a shot on, but it is saved by Alter.
An early chance stopped by Ascension, and an early lead both teams could really do with right now, as both teams will be pretty nervous to try to progress to the next round, and Hackett able to get it top shelf 1-0 30 seconds in.
Yeah, it's all coming together for England so far. If they could just keep this up, they've played so well, so they were on the back foot, went down 2 games, it wasn't looking good for them. But as I say, they're looking stronger. A great kickoff from Ascension, and Deddy will equalise instantaneously.
You hate to see it. When somebody scores, it always plagues the mind to concede immediately after, and we've got a good kickoff here from Ascension. But Hackett able to recover. Ceiling shot from Cherry, way too wide, but able to stay in the play on low boost. Eventually gives it off to his teammates.
Yeah, it's always difficult when you put in so much hard work to score a goal, just for it to immediately be taken away from a kickoff goal. It's something that, you know, England are going to have to regain from. You know, you can't let anything affect the mental when you're in a series of this sort of caliber. You know, both these teams are going to be 1600 to 1800. These are high-level players who should know what they're doing, as Jake has to make an emergency save there off the crossbar from Cherry.
Yeah, it was very awkward to play there from Jake, but just about able to make do with what they have. Another shot coming through, saved by Jake yet again. Jake definitely, you know, seeded the highest for his team, and I think he's not really necessarily tried to be the star in his team. I think they've definitely tried to be a cohesive unit, and I think it really shows in the way they've played.
Yeah, I think Hackett and Jake have played quite well together this tournament. Nothing against Lumpy, he has played well, but just Hackett and Jake seem to have something between them. They do play well together, as Jake will make it 2-1 as I'm talking about him. Must be something to do with the psychic connection between them both having the word Harry in their names.
No, I do. I want to give him some credit. I mean, I think specifically defensively he's been caught off guard, but I think offensively, I think he's been fairly cohesive with his teammates. So I think England as a 3-man attacking unit, they've been pretty cohesive. Obviously for them, the reason why they haven't dominated their opponents in offense is purely because mechanically they're just not quite the same level, and so they have to work as a team and focus on their positioning to try to really stay relevant and dominate some of these potential teams. And they've been able to caught a lot of teams off guard by just simply doing the basics very, very well. And but you know, once you get to that one point where the other team works somewhat cohesively, not necessarily to the point of your team, but they just work somewhat cohesively and are able to make mechanical plays like this. I mean, also getting on the end of that. What a pass by, I believe it was Cherry. Yet again, I mean, this guy has been absolutely stealing the show in this series.
Really, you're not wrong. He has been sublime for Ascension ever since the start of the tournament. And you know, it's again with these passing plays from Ascension, they just go for them so often. They so often work out. I think, yeah, as you said, England they do have a good attack. They do have cohesion between those three players. But as I say this, I was gonna say they need to try and tighten the communication on defense, and that is proven well and truly. As Cherry gets 50 into the middle, and Alta will punish the England players.
Yeah, just not an ideal 50 in that kind of scenario. When you only have one teammate behind you, you can't go for a 50. That when you look at the angles on that 50, the likelihood of it going badly was high enough for you to say, alright, I'm not going to go for this 50, I'm going to play a bit more patient. So not quite the patience being put up from England as it was required in that moment. And Ascension, they'll be paid the profits.
Yeah, you think anything can happen in a Rocket League game, but you might think at this point, you know, I think the England players, they might be sweating a little bit right now. There's plenty of time still to go, but they are on the back foot, both game-wise and series-wise.
Oh no, with the communication again, they had a good opportunity there. A bump came out, but just two players not on the same page, and now the panic really settling in on the team of England.
I think desperation might be setting in. They need to get one more goal to take it to at least overtime. They can't afford to let the scoreline stay as it is.
1 minute remaining. England have to score, and Hackett puts it in the midfield. Well read by Deddy, who reads it really, really early. Big clang from Umfi to try to get it to Jake, who's on 40 boost. Tries to get a mid. Nobody there, and again, just a miscommunication. If somebody was mid, they would have said so. So England just not really playing like themselves right now.
They need to tighten the comms. Their defensive tactics have been a little bit iffy. Obviously there, Jake had a great chance, but no one was there in the middle. All they need to do is communicate a bit more. As Hackett tries to get a hit there from the middle pass, but can't quite do it. 24 seconds remaining. How are they going to be able to do it?
That is the big question here. Deddy keeps mounting a little bit more pressure here. Hackett's on really low boost, and it's going to be awkward for them here. Big clearance going over to the orange side, but Deddy can just control here. They've got the mechanics to individually control the ball as well, which is such a handy tool to use in this stage of the game. 2 seconds remaining. Over in the blue half. Hackett tries to put it high. Well read by Cherry, and that'll drop down eventually. Yeah, and Ascension. They're able to win 3-1 in the losers final, and they're going on to the grand finals.
Yeah, it's been a great run from England. Obviously, they might have gone into that series thinking they were better, but Ascension, I must say, I've followed their entire way through this tournament, obviously having casted most of their games. They have got a really strong side. I think this grand finale between them and the three dudes, it's going to be an interesting one. England, commiserations, you tried your best, you got quite far, but it will be Ascension in the grand finale.
Yeah, it was a great series, but ultimately Ascension just being too hot to handle for England. But I have to give a lot of props to England, because when you, I mean, we say it again and again, mechanically, you know, they shouldn't have even made it here, but it was their game sense, their positioning, their cohesion at times, that have been the reason why they've made it this far. They've been clutch in important moments, but just lack that individual quality to make it any further than the losers final. But yeah, a deserved victory from Ascension. We'll be watching the 3 Students versus Ascension very, very soon. But until then, we've got a small Abir back screen. And yeah, just make sure to not go anywhere because we've got a tight one coming up.
Standing in the fire, just to feel alive. Faith and desire, let me feel the light. Shake to the water, drowning in your eyes. Standing in the fire, standing in the fire. Just a feel. Just to feel alive. Faith and desire.
Hello, 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 we're back yet again. We got the grand finals coming up. Let's get back with Tibbins right now. Yo!
Hello there.
Welcome back.
Oh,
Alright.
Alright.
Have you seen any of the Three Dudens?
I haven't been able to watch the Three Dudens at all, to be honest,
Okay.
because I saw I saw a little bit of them against England, but because sort of after I'd finished my casting, I had to go and have some food because I was very hungry. So I really haven't seen anything from the Three Dudens so far.
Alright, fair enough. Well, Ascension and the Three Dudens, I would say, here in the grand final, the two best performing teams, without a doubt. I think you can make judgments about other positions earlier on, but at the end of the day, I do think we get the deserving finalists here. The Three Dudens, they started their day by sweeping Team Chaotic, then winning against Amigos in a 3-game thriller by very narrow margins, and then eventually getting the 3-1 victory over England, which was replicated by Ascension earlier on, but they had a longer journey to get here. They started their journey losing against England 2-1 in round 2, then going down, sweeping the Ark, which was actually quite a high seed, so that is actually an impressive result. Then also winning 2-1 against Amigos straight after, 2-0 sweep over Chaotic, and then again the 3-1 win over England to make the grand final. Now these guys don't think they can join, so you could just tell them to join.
Yeah, no matter how we feel towards England's defence of them, I'm sure you'll be happy to know that you're not going to have to say England again.
I can agree to that.
Here we go. I did have to tell them to join because for some reason people just don't read what you put in the chats apparently.
That does seem to be quite apparent. Alright, we got the grand final getting underway here. Game number 1 between the 3 Dudens and Ascension. Oh, Timmins, who do you think is going to win this series?
Well, it's quite interesting because this 3 Dudens roster, I'm only familiar with GMB, whom, as you know, I have played before and beaten. But, you know, so I don't know how the likes of Rossi are going to play. But if they're anything like the 3 Dudens that I know, it's going to be a tough one for Ascension. But I must say, you know, Ascension have had a great run. They could pull off the Season 6 Cloud9 with a lower bracket run.
Yeah, the Season 6 Cloud9, it's been attempted to get replicated on multiple occasions, for example by PWS in the Tryhard Games Tier 2, but weren't quite able to get the final series done, and that's been the case for a lot of teams. So a very, very tall task here for Ascension, but I think they're capable of doing it. That being said, they are down 1 game to start with in this best of 7. Through the reasoning that they come from the lower brackets, and I don't want to have a bracket reset. But yeah, this should be a really good series. Still 0-0, 4 minutes remaining, and here Deddy getting this ball a little bit dangerous, but Rossi seems to be just fine dealing with it. You asked me, or didn't you ask me, but you said you only know about GMB, and he is the highest individually seeded player in this entire tournament, but earlier he did mention, when he beat England, that he was actually getting carried by his 2 teammates, so a lot of credit has been given to Rossi and Rai by the likes of Hackett. So the 3 Dudens, they're definitely the full package.
Yeah, I was told by Hackett that the 3 Dudens were, quote, very sweaty. So, you know, it should be interesting to see here. I'd say they have been on, sort of, you know, they've been on the upper foot so far this game. Obviously no goals have been scored yet from either side, but they've seemed strong. They've had a few attacks that you could argue actually could have resulted in a goal. So yeah, Ascension needs to be careful of that. This 3 Dudens roster does seem very strong.
Right here, almost getting a double tap, but didn't quite get the right read on it. Here, Alter, no Cherry. That's a touch down to the midfield, straight to a 3 Dudens attacker, but Alter able to bail out his teammate.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see this. Obviously, GMB, you know, had a chance there. And I say that off the crossbar from Ascension. That could have been the first goal of this grand finale. Both teams have had chances now that they really could have scored. It's almost a shocker that we haven't actually seen a goal yet. Ascension almost made it 1-0, but it's the 3 Dudens on the attack now.
Yeah, very, very tight affair so far. Very low scoring affair as Rai tries to put it in the midfield again. Nobody in the midfield, however. Not the greatest play. Rossi going straight down the middle. GMB gets absolutely savagely deleted from the field. However, the counter-attack not quite fast enough to capitalize.
Yeah, Ascension, they're looking good. I said at the start that, you know, the 3 Dudens were probably looking stronger, but I think they've definitely brought that back. Obviously, you can never judge so early. Right now, it's anyone's game. As Rossi tries to go up for this, it will be easily cleared out by Alter though. GMB, he will try and get this mid. Carries on the backboard, a bit of an awkward hit, and Alter doesn't look very comfortable, but Rai just can't hit the ball.
Every now and then, you know, these players, they're playing at a high level, but they do find themselves having some mechanical errors, some would say, at some points. As this ball goes into the midfield, no, again, nobody quite there. Rossi able to put it down to his own corner. Unable to read it though, as Cherry puts a shot down on target. Easily saved by a GMB.
Yeah, I think so far we've seen clearly neither team has gone for anything that is too aggressive or too dangerous. There's a lot on the line here, obviously this being the final series of the Ascended tier. You know, neither team wants to risk anything. As Rai gets a great shot on there, but also with an even better save.
Yeah, it was a really good save there. High quality save by Ascension. As the 3 Dudens keep mounting more and more pressure. I think overall they've had the majority of the pressure in this game, though I'm sure it's by tight margins. Here a good read by Rai covering the low side of that play. Ultimately, as your first man, you do want to be covering the low side of it, a high flying play rather than the high side, just because usually you do have a teammate behind you that's on your own backboard covering the high ground. So at the end of the day, you just want to make sure you got somebody covering the high ground behind you.
It's the second trickle on now. It's the 10-second countdown. We may well have an overtime going in at 0-0, which I certainly haven't seen in this tournament yet. There's one last chance here, maybe for Three Dudes. Can they capitalise?
Oh.
No, Alter will hit it into the floor.
An
And you think
extremely
that they
important touch there by Alter, by the way. Without
Few
that
more
touch,
seconds.
they might not be going to overtime. So an extremely important touch to survive is Ascension here, but they're facing a lot of pressure here. It might just be an open net, and it is, right, they do
Oh.
capitalize 11 seconds in, and the Three Dudens, they're 2 games up already.
Was that a case of Ascension realising nothing had happened this series and trying to get something going? Or was that just a pure bit of miscommunication?
I'm not too sure, but it has proven fatal for Ascension. And look at that, they've had to make a lot of saves in that game. You could tell right here the pressure mounting from the Three Dudens, definitely putting up a strong display in game 1. And I have to say, quite pleased with the performance from both teams. A very tight affair, 0-0 until obviously you go into overtime where that deadlock has to be broken. But yeah, we're gonna change the map. I'm gonna make sure I do that.
Yeah, you got to remember it's best of 7 as well. The best of 7 lineup of maps rather than the best of 5 or best of 3 that we've used.
It's only only a marginal
remember to change
difference.
the maps.
Yeah.
That's one thing I was happy with in my guts. I remember to change the maps around.
I'm proud
And
of you, bro.
score. Yeah, I did better this time. It's way easier when you do it all, you know.
Yeah, you don't say, you don't say. Well, we go into game number 2 as we go into Sovereign Heights.
Yeah, this is a personal favourite map of mine. It's a very pretty looking map, even if you're someone like me who tryouts the game and thusly puts all the graphic settings down.
Yeah, definitely an aesthetically pleasing map, but I think the players are going to be worried more, or specifically Ascension are going to be worried more about this comeback because they're 2 games down. Don't get me wrong, they've got time to adapt, but from this point on, Ascension do have to make it count because reverse sweeps in best of 7s are extremely unlikely, and they want to be increasing their chance of winning this game, so a must-win game here from Ascension.
Yeah, it's something that is always, I don't know if I can speak for anyone else, but for me it was always on my mind when I went to a grand finale from a loser's bracket run, is you know you're going to be a game down from the start and you can't let that affect you. You've got to go into it almost acting like it's 0-0. Because if you go into it already thinking you're on the, you know, you're not doing too well because you're a game down, then it's never going to work out for you.
The mentals will definitely be tested on the side of Ascension. But the Three Dudens, they've looked extremely good, and the first minute into this game, we're still in a 0-0 tie game, reminiscent of last game. But here, right here, Rossi going for that backboard. Early read from Cherry will transition the ball into offense. Steady though, gets a little bit bumped in that play. Cherry gets it into the midfield, but it's actually that bump that might have been the difference in Deddy not being in the midfield there for that shot.
Yeah, Ascension obviously having conceded last game and also looking probably a bit more worrisome, not quite as good as Three Dudens. What would you say they need to do differently if they're trying to win this game?
I mean, for Cherry, I think all they have to, not Cherry, sorry, the team name is Ascension, that's right. No, I think what Ascension have to do is just make sure that they're playing to win and not playing to not lose, and that's quite a difference actually. Because I think when they're in offense, they look extremely good, but when they're just sitting in defense, I think the mistakes, they come crawling out a little bit more often. And this Three Dudens side, they're pretty mechanical, but I think you can kind of outplay them if you just play somewhat safe, but always have a man committing and a lot of solo plays coming out. So I think this Three Dudens sides has some holes that they can figure out.
Yeah, it's like I said in the last series, you can't play for a draw in Rocket League. You have to get chances created and you have to try and score. And you know, Ascension, I've said it before, I'll say it again, they have proven themselves to be excellent passers of the ball. They always seem to know where each other are on the field. If they can utilise some of that team chemistry, they could very much take this game.
Alter now, trying to look for that midfield pass, unable to do so as the ball gets clanged downfield over to their own side. Right, gets a decent challenge. GMB goes for the backboard, but easily handled by Deddy. Quite awkward touch, but Alter able to get there without many issues. Decent control here, tries to get a 50 over to Cherry, but wasn't quite able to do so. Good challenge from the Three Dudens. A ball over the last man. Alter with a whiff, and it's an open net. Oh, they're not able to make it count. It hits off the post, Ollie.
I believe it! That is so unfortunate almost for the three Dudens. And I haven't scored there. I don't quite believe it. Ascension almost would have been handed a gift from God, if you will. In that, how have they not conceded there? Oh,
Oh, no!
Squishy save and GMB after another long time of no goals. GMB will get just a very simple touch in. That's such a shame for Alter.
That's such a light tab, but it just absolutely subdues the defense.
He's got to regain.
You just gotta regain it. It's just a mechanical error. They have to come back quickly here, as they only have a minute remaining, which is enough time. But they do have to keep it going sooner rather than later, as they're down by 1.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, this isn't a goal fest by any sense of the word. So few got 2 goals so far in this entire series. After almost 2 games have been up, that's a goal per game. And you know, it's never going to be easy for you, especially conceding a goal like that. If you're going to concede immediately, you think, I mean, this 3 Duden side, they've proven to be very good on the defense. It's hard to get past. Even conceding 1 just makes you worry. Just Rai tries to clear this into the Ascension half, but Eddie trying to keep the morale up, trying to keep it going. He gets a dunk actually.
Decent dunk there by Diddy, but oh, just another misplay here from Ascension. Alter having to track back, and GB looking for that demo, looking for that disturbance in their own defense here. Ascension looking pretty clunky here as they're struggling to get out. Rossi here, all the way back on this. Oh, and then it's a complete mechanical mishap. GB bails out his teammate. It's absolute pandemonium in front of the blue net.
It's stupendous. Has been trickled down to 5 seconds remaining. It looks like this game 2 will go to Dudens unless Ascend can get one last chance rather. They couldn't, no. 3 Dudens sit it down, and that was, as like you say, pandemonium. 3 Dudens defense. You think Ascension are really kicking themselves. They didn't capitalize on that.
The Dudens quite quickly they've been able to snatch it, and now they're already on match point here, 1 game away from winning the whole tournament. And Ascension, well, they have to reverse sweep, so not ideal for the team here in orange, as I need to switch to Neo Tokyo. I mean, Tibbins, I'm not sure how much experience you have from trying to recover from reverse sweeps in best of 5s or more or longer series, but generally speaking, what would you do? What would your advice be for a team when once they have to reverse sweep, basically?
Give up and cry. Well, I say no. You just gotta give up. I'm joking. It's the exact opposite. You've got to take a look at it. You've got to try and think about just what you're doing wrong. And for Ascension here, it's not even that obvious. You know, they've played well. It's just not been quite as good as 3 Duden. So Ascension, you know, they just got to take a step back, take a look at themselves. Don't let anything get them down. I mean, obviously they're going to be a bit nervous now, and they can't lose another game. But you know, they just got to keep calm, keep themselves composed, keep their passing plays good, and maybe they can get it past this Duden's defense, who are actually yet to concede.
Yeah, it's been a very tight affair in the grand finals, and it's kind of more likely to happen then than in any other round, due to the nerves kind of settling in and both teams probably becoming slightly more passive. Oh my god, that 50 almost going straight in, but I just about saved out by very thin margins here as Alter tries to get a 50 here. Rossi again trying to get this ball downfield, opting to go for the optic decal, by the way. The green decal, again, I have to say I'm not a fan. I just wanted to voice my opinion. Yeah, the liquid decal is just clearly superior. These players don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, if you're not in the liquid decal, you don't really deserve to win this. So I say, as Monkey, TMB goes up for that. He does manage to get the first goal. It's not going to be like the other games where, you know, it was 0-0 until at least like a minute left. It's 1-0 now after just 50 seconds, and that's not gonna be good for Ascension, because they're gonna look at that and they're a goal down now. They're on the back foot. They're down 3 games. They need to keep themselves composed. They need to keep their heads held high, because otherwise they're just gonna crumble under the pressure.
Another shot coming through from GMB, saved out by Deddy this time. Cherry. He's been such a star in the last series, but he's been absolutely shut down in this grand final by the Three Dudens. Just barely even on the field. Looks, it really shows how good the Three Dudens have been playing in the series against England. Cherry just looked like he was just the best in the lobby by miles, but now it looks to be completely different story versus the Three Dudens.
Yeah, it's looking, it's interesting. Are we gonna see a sweep in this grand finale? It's never something you necessarily like to see, but I must say, if it does happen, it's well deserved for the Three Dudens, who clearly just better at dealing with their nerves, better at keeping things solid in defense, strong in offense. And you know, if they do sweep the series, it wouldn't be too big an upset.
Rossi here, double commit with GMB, actually leaves the net completely open. Deddy does capitalize, and they've tied it up. They finally get some confidence after such a long period of just drought, lack of confidence, absolute destruction by the Three Dudens. Ascension now gets some momentum.
Yeah, they're going to need to use that goal. They've got that goal back. They know it's possible to get past this Three Dudens offense. That is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the first goal that the Three Dudens have conceded this entire series. So will that open the floodgates almost? Will this be a sort of changing point for Ascension, who now know that they have and can score against the Dudens again?
Ascension, they're in a pretty ironic situation where in the last series they were in the opposite side of this, where they were on match point, close to sweeping, and then the opponents actually kind of up to their level, and they dropped their level. And this might be the same case here, where the Three Dudens, they've reached the final game, they need to just win one more and they win, and maybe dropping their levels a little bit, and Ascension taking advantage.
Yeah, this might be a scenario, as was the case in last series, where this time the Three Dudens start to play very passively, and if they do that, they're just not going to be able to score as many goals, and that could be something that give Ascension the edge, as Rossi tries to get a flick on, and it will be saved by Alter, but not well enough, as Rai comes in with a bottom corner shot to make it 2-1. As I'm talking about them being, you know, possibly too passive, they will get a goal that could possibly be a tournament-winning shot.
Yeah, this grand final has had quite a shortage of goals, but I'll tell you what, Rai, him specifically, has not been a source of a shortage of goals, because he's been absolutely popping off today. GMB going for the double tap, and he does get it. He runs off and he says, "See!" as he's in the Portuguese decal. Look at that, mechanics put on display here by GMB.
Oh, that was an absolutely impeccable goal. And a really important one for the Three Dudens. They have their 2-goal cushion. Said it before, I'll say it again. 2-goal lead is the most dangerous one, as said by Syme. But
I've never heard you say that with such a grin on your face.
It is looking good for Three Dudens. A 2-goal cushion with just a minute remaining.
Here a decent pass off to the side, and he does find Cherry, who does make it count. Cherry actually being the one on the end of it, not having treated himself. A great pass by Alter, great vision to find Cherry on the side, and now they're only within one, and again a little bit more momentum their way, and they could just tie things up and actually take a game.
Yeah, it's not over at all. You know, I was just saying how that could be a goal that wins it for Dudens, but Ascension immediately responding, and that, like you say, could give them the momentum they need in order to try and take some games off the Three Dudens. It has to happen now. There's no second chances from this point on, but it's not over at all.
They got a couple of goals back, but now they need to go the extra mile. Another save coming out crucially from GMB, as now Rai in control of the ball on a decent amount of boost as well. A good challenge from Deddy, but only gets it as far as Rossi. Pre-jump challenge from Cherry coming out. Very desperate to score here. Here almost Alter breaking the defense. Deddy opening up some space for his teammates, but again just not able to create high quality chances here from Ascension. Just a little bit apprehensiveness when they're moving forward.
And they're running out of time. There's only 10 seconds left. It has to happen now if they want to have a chance of winning this tournament. It's looking good for the Three Dudens as the clock trickle down. It's going to be 0 seconds. Alter won't keep it up, but it will be the Three Dudens who win the Ascended tier of Titans 3.
Yep, the three Dudens, they are your ascended tier Titans 3 champions, and more than deserved as well. I mean, it's been such an amazing performance so far, just absolutely annihilating the competition. They've had a couple close series, don't get me wrong, especially against the Migos, who sadly dropped out in the second round. But the three Dudens, I mean, I have to say, I chose the right team to follow in round one, because they've won every single series I've casted, and they took over 4 out of 5 series I casted today. So yeah, I mean, three Dudens, I appreciate you winning every single series that I saw. So I mean, it's just a great performance here. I want to give you, I want to put you on the spot, Ollie. Who would you give the MVP medal to for this tournament?
MVP for a team or for a
Player.
individual player? Player. It's a hard one. Obviously, for me, it almost certainly have to go to someone on the Ascensions. Obviously, unfortunate that they didn't in the grand final. Just like for you, you had the three Dudens run basically for your entire casting session. For me, it was the Ascensions. I had them in every single series, so I've got to go with one of them. And it's hard to choose for me, especially between obviously all three of them played sublimely. Maybe it's the grand final, but for me, it's between Deddy and Sherry. You know, they both super consistent, super well played. Sherry, I'd argue Deddy was a bit stronger on getting the actual shot off, but Sherry was so good at you know, supporting with these passes, and it's a really hard one. But I might have to give it to Cherry. You know, I think Cherry, he was such a superstar to watch in these series, and you know, it's unfortunate he couldn't end up taking home the gold. But I would have to give it to Cherry.
Cherry definitely had an impressive individual performance today, I have to say. It's definitely a very, very fair shout. I want to give a lot of props to the three Dudens players at the same time as well. I think if I had to give my MVP award for this tournament, based on the series that I've casted, because obviously I haven't been able to cast every single match, no surprises there. I mean, it's hard to say. It's definitely between players from the three Dudens and Ascension, but I felt like the three Dudens were just marginally a better unit rather than Ascension. I feel like three Dudens, they shared their moments of brilliance between each other a little bit more. So I'm gonna give the MVP medal, just like you, to Cherry. I think he had an individual really good performance.
Bro said, "Oh yeah, the Dudens, they're so good. I'm gonna give it to Cherry."
Well, it's just, you know, I feel like the MVP is most valuable player, you know, and when a team relies on one player, I'm gonna recognize that value. They've said, okay, I want you to do, or not necessarily I want you, but it's ended up looking like that. I want you to do the majority of the work, and I feel like that's been the case for Ascension. So I'm gonna give it to Cherry, but the three Dudens, without a doubt, they were the better team today. And yeah, it's a stellar performance from both teams.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. The three Dudens, but Cherry was more of a highlight on Ascension, whereas three Dudens were just it was almost like a brick wall. They were together. They were, you know, very equal players. No one necessarily stood out. They were all just so competent and so strong on their defense and offense. I think it's a well-deserved win for them today.
Most certainly is, and I'm afraid we're gonna have to sign off here. Again, I want to thank everyone for participating, everyone for getting involved, everyone watching, and I want to give a lot of thanks to the casters as well. Ollie here for joining me today, professional caster, totally, soon to become professional caster. But yeah.
Hit me up, Aaron, yes.
Any final words, Oliver Timmons?
I just say, you know, thanks to everyone who took part. Obviously, there's some people we knew, like basically everyone in England. You know, it's great to have these tournaments happen. I've enjoyed casting it. I'm sure you've enjoyed casting it. I think it's been a great day for everyone.
Yeah, it certainly has. And before we just go, I just want to say, make sure to be on the lookout. Join the tournament Discord. And by the way, also, I should promote this. The Cybertourneys YouTube channel does exist. If you want to see your series that were casted today, or any of my events, you know, just know that you can check them out. There's a Cybertourneys YouTube channel. Just look it up on YouTube, Cybertourneys. You can find it there. But yeah, with that said, we will be signing off. Thank you all for joining us, and I hope to catch you next time.
part of an interview with the subject just before LSD is to be administered.
I can see everything in color. Everything is so beautiful and lovely and alive. This is reality. Can't you feel it?
Here is part of an interview with the subject just before LSD is to be administered.
Can't you feel it? Can't you feel it?
What does this all mean to you?